Welcome to Sacredly Selfish, a space where we flip the script on what it means to choose yourself.
I'm Megan, and together with Raju, we're diving into raw, real conversations that explore self love, boundaries, healing, and what happens when women stop abandoning themselves and start living in alignment.
Because being selfish isn't wrong. When it's sacred, it's revolutionary.
We're so glad you're here. Now, let's get selfish.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sacredly Selfish. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's episode will be kind of similar to our previous episodes of where we're just going to talk and see what comes up and what kind of feels called for. I am a little bit under the weather. I know that Megan, you yourself as well too, were feeling a little bit like chest congestion cough kind of coming back up again. For myself, I am not feeling well today, guys. I'm gonna be very, very honest. It's not even my family's been sick, but it's not even like I've gotten full on like cold. It's just this like sore throat with this swelling around my neck. I can feel my lymph nodes feel swollen. And then my body just feels so exhausted. Like I can't explain it. Like it's not even a fever. I don't even have a fever. It's just my body feels so fatigued right now. And it almost feels like burnout, but I can't really recognize why I'm feeling burnt out. Like I'm feeling just completely drained. I can't even explain it.
Do you think that maybe it's because you had that big expansion on your trip and then you came back, you were all those emotions kind of came up, but you weren't really letting yourself feel. So now that you have felt it and you did alchemize all the things that were going on for you, that now your body's like, oh, finally. So now your body can rest. And maybe that's where the burnout feeling is because I imagine burnout, it's different. You're a mom, right? So it's kind of like you don't really get fully that break unless you're going to do something like a spa day or something where you're like away from the office or away from like the home in general where your kids are. So I feel like, yeah, even though you went on a trip, that doesn't necessarily mean that burnout feeling is going to go away because you're still on the clock.
Yeah, I feel like when you're a parent, vacationing is just the same routine in a different country, town, or city, or whatever it may be. That could be possibly what's going on. Like, I know there is obviously a bug going on in my family because my kids were sick and my mother-in-law was like really sick. Like, she couldn't even get out of bed for 2 days. So, I don't
Mm.
know if I just got a part, like, I got that bug just a tiny little bit, and that's what's like kind of just lingering there, but I'm not getting the full blown sickness. But I do feel like a lot has gone on over the last couple of weeks, and it's just like my body needs the rest, and I'm not finding time for the rest because life keeps going on. And you're right, it is hard. It's even if I was to go to a spa, it's not the same thing as like resting. And the funny thing is like in the past, I've taken off like a Friday and a Monday, and I swear when you're a mom, even that isn't even enough. Like you're just like, I don't even still feel rested. Like it's hard to explain.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. And what brings you rest? You said spas, you still don't feel that way, even if you were to go alone. What exactly is the essence of what you need? Can you name it? What do you need right now? If you can sit here and think about it, what is it that you're called to do?
Lay in my bed and literally do nothing. I would love to just lay in my bed and do nothing. I went for a massage a couple of days ago and it wasn't a spa, but it was RMT. And oh my God, it was the most beautiful massage I've had in a long time because I took a bit of a break from going to getting my regular RMT massages. And it's funny because it's like you go do that. This is why I'm saying like a spa is not exactly what like it's beautiful. It's a great like break. I'm not saying like, it's a privilege to be able to go do that and it's a great experience, but to be coming from such a calm, regulated state back into a crazy house of toddlers and
Mm,
preschoolers
mhm.
is definitely like it just kind of erases everything that you just like went through. And I think for me, honestly, like just want if I could just like not have anyone talk to me for like 5 days straight, which I know is not possible, but I mean
Possible,
like
yeah.
5 days straight, no one talks to me. And I
Mhm.
just watch my shows, I sit in bed, I eat my junk food, whatever I wanna
Mhm.
do, and just chill out, like, that to me is what I feel like I need because I used to have so much alone time before I had children, And
Mhm.
I sit and laugh about that because I would think I was so busy that I would be like, "Oh, I just need to go have alone time." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's so different. Life is so different now than when I was childless."
Mhm.
And now it's almost gotten to the point where if I even probably get downtime, I don't know how to sit with myself anymore in downtime.
Oh
Does
my
that make
gosh, that
sense?
reminds me of the story in Vegas when we went to Vegas and I was just sitting relaxing and you're just like one thing after another and your mind was going and I was like, "Girl, do you ever just like relax?"
No. Oh my god, I remember that too. You were like, "What's wrong with you? We're supposed to be resting right now." I'm like, "What is
Yeah.
rest?"
You're like, your mind's not going right now?" I said, "Absolutely not. No, it's not."
No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I feel like I oh my gosh, that was like 2 years ago. I feel like
Yeah.
since then too, I have obviously incorporated a lot more
Mhm.
rest into my life, but still at the same time, I feel like if the family's home, it's hard for me to allow myself to rest. I feel like there's always something that needs to be done. The kids are pulling me somewhere, or like I'm like, "Oh, I should clean the kitchen. I should do this. I should do that." It's tricky. I think the moms understand where I'm coming from. So, as for the sickness, it's probably just a combination of a virus plus just feeling exhausted and I think it's just been a lot of go 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 and even though I've been incorporating a lot more rest into this year, I still feel like I could probably add a bit more in as well too.
I'm curious, and this is just the questions I'm gonna ask. Do you find that sometimes it's easier to make the excuse of not making the time? That your mind is going 24/7, but how you said, "Oh, I wish I could stay in bed for 5 days." Okay, you can't do that, obviously. It's not possible. That I agree, not possible.
It's probably not good for me to do that either. Even though that seems like
No.
such a dream right now, it's probably not the best thing
But,
mentally to
like,
do either.
yeah, like, is there instead of doing that and yeah, okay, maybe that sounds like a dream and that's amazing. But do you sometimes think that you're limiting yourself in your ability to create the space because, like, you're just not that's not your main focus, like, your brain power isn't there at that moment. So instead of taking the 5 days, is it possible to take, like, a 1 hour in the afternoon or 2 hours to, like, lay in bed, maybe take a nap or do something like that? Something that's smaller and, yeah, it wouldn't be like how you obviously would create the space when you didn't have children because obviously life changes. You're gonna
Mhm.
have to adapt to what is going on, but then also having that limited belief that you can't actually create that space is also hindering you at this time too, maybe?
No, I think it is possible. Like on the weekend, I did go lay down for an hour because my head was pounding really, really bad. Eventually, the kids did come up and they were just like
Mm.
in my face smiling, which is like so. I was sitting there and like my first initial reaction was, "You guys are so effing annoying. Like,
Yeah.
leave me alone," right? I didn't say that to them, but then it's like both of them would pop up with this cute little smile. And I'm like, "Oh my god, they're just, like, living their childhood so happy." So, like, "Oh, let's go check on mom, what she's doing." And it's not like they stayed for long. They did go back
Mhm.
downstairs, but it was just in that moment, I was like, "You guys are so annoying." Like, I
Yeah.
just wanna rest. And I think if the kids are home, it's hard to rest. And
Yes.
also, for me, it's a little bit different. They're my in-laws are aging, right? So, like, my mother-in-law cannot take the kids herself to
Mm.
go to, like, playground or something like that. Like, I can't expect that from her either. Like, she has her own aches and pains and health issues that are going on. So, for me, it is a little bit difficult to find space, and I'm not trying to make excuse for not being able to, because I have cultivated so much space in my life over the last year and a half, which
Mhm.
I never thought was possible. So, yeah, it is I think going back to your question, I can find the time, but I think right now how I'm feeling, and this might be just a limiting belief in it, I just don't feel like an hour is enough. Like, I
Yeah,
could find an
true.
hour today to do it as well too. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes, yes, it gives me time to kind of feel a bit better and not so like short with my children. And I do take that. Sometimes, honestly, I just sit on the toilet. I shut my
Mhm.
bathroom door and I lock the door. And because now I finally have created that boundary because my kids never used to let me even like literally go to the bathroom without them following
Mhm.
me. But I've created that boundary now where I just lock the door and I say, "Hey, I'm doing this. You
Mhm.
cannot come in." And sometimes I just sit in the bathroom for like 20 minutes. I'm literally doing nothing or I'm responding back to text messages.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I am.
Responding back to text messages, I feel like the phone is such a distraction too in that sense
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
But what was coming to mind when you were talking about locking yourself in the bathroom, did you ever get to create that space after you put Rhea to bed to take that bubble bath that we were talking about?
No, girl, because I started feeling sick. I've been taking cold medication because 'cause I'm trying
Oh,
to not get
no.
sick, so I've been taking cold
Yeah.
medication, which okay, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the cold medication's doing a lot. It's making me feel a lot more groggy, so
Mhm.
which probably is a reason for why I'm feeling so burnt out. So I've been taking, like, sedatives at night because I just wanna get a good night's sleep, but then I'm
Yeah.
finding like at work and like at home and stuff, I'm feeling very like slow. I feel like my brain's slow. I'm feeling almost like sleepy. And I know I'm not the greatest with medication that makes you drowsy. Like it
Mhm.
sits in my body for 24 hours usually. So I don't know. I still keep doing it when I'm not feeling well. I'm like, I just want to sleep tonight. I just want to get a good sleep. So I'll take like something that has like Benadryl or something in it. And that could be also the reasoning behind why I'm feeling so like off, but anyways,
Is
enough
Rhea
about
also sleeping better now? Because I know she was having
no,
hers.
so she's
Okay.
super congested, so that's not helping.
Mhm.
But in other news, JoJo's potty trained, so that's amazing.
That's so exciting. Oh my god.
I
How
know,
did it
like,
was it
my god.
messy?
No, actually, so daycare's been amazing with both the kids. They've been training them, like, throughout. Rhea was potty trained before she turned 3 as well too, because they have, like, this rule you have to be out of diapers by 3, otherwise
Oh.
they charge you more money for the month. Because they transfer them from, like, the baby class, so the kids call it, into, like, the preschool class when they hit
Mhm.
3. So, Rhea was potty trained quite quickly. I feel like honestly, the teachers did most of it, and then with Giona as well too, it was a lot. Like, the school's like, "Well, he's not peeing in his diaper at school, so we don't know why he's peeing at home." Like, I would try to potty train him, and he would just go in his pants or his underwear. So finally, once we got back from our trip, I was like, I'm just not going to these 3 days. He had a couple of accidents, but he was, like, very, aware of his accidents, and he would
Okay.
almost, like, freak out, like, "Oh my god, mama, pee!" And, like and then I would run him to the bathroom, and then he'd finish his pee and stuff, and now he's just fully, like he'll go, "I have to go pee," and he'll run to the bathroom and go himself. He's loving his Spider-Man underwears, like his superhero
Oh,
underwears. It's so freaking cute. He's such a little cutie.
that's adorable. That's like Thomas is so obsessed with Finding Nemo. And so there was
Mm.
like Nemo on, I guess, my sister-in-law got the diapers that have Nemo on it. And so he looked at the diaper, he's like, Nemo. And then he's like wanting to change his diaper.
Yeah, that's so cute. Maybe that's like a how old is he now? He'll be 2 soon, right?
He'll be 2 at the end of May. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe eventually in the summer she can start like transitioning him. Boys are harder to potty train, so I've heard.
Mhm.
And I actually felt like
Yeah.
they were a lot harder, but maybe she can start like Finding Nemo underwears or whatever he's
Mhm.
into because by May he'll change his
I
opinion on what he
know.
loves.
I know. Freaking cutie pie.
I
I love
know.
that.
Anyways, how are you doing? I know you've
I'm
been doing
doing
this meditation, this devotional meditation for 30
speaking of
days.
meditation and devotional, today was the last day of my 30-day
Oh my
devotion.
god, that's
I
amazing.
I can't believe how quickly it went by. And it's kind of interesting because I went through this, oh, I don't want to create a devotion because what if I let myself down and I don't complete it or I don't make the time for it? And so I had all this kind of noise. And then today I was doing it, like I was finishing it and I was journaling and I was talking about, my God, I did it. I completed it. But there was this little voice, my little saboteur on my shoulder that so there was one day, so I didn't wake up at my usual 4 a.m. before work because I was so exhausted. This whole last week, I've been running myself ragged, doing all these activities, not saying that they're not fun and enjoyable, but also like learning my limits and like too much, what's the word I'm looking for? Too much social time. And so I didn't wake up. So I did the meditation in my car, but I didn't have my eyes closed, obviously, because I was driving. So I had the full meditation on like 30 minutes and I was like saying it, like whispering it and then doing it in my head. And I did the whole thing except for I was driving. So there was that little voice in my head, well, you didn't actually complete it because you weren't 100% present to it. And what a joke that is because I created the time in which I'm like, and that was the thing, right? Excuses. That's where like the excuses thing kind of came up. And it was like my little saboteur was like, well, no, you didn't do it because you didn't do it in this way. Like it has to be one way or it didn't work. So then also just having space for myself, like knowing that I did do it. I still created the space in order to do so. And then I even had the intention, okay, in the evening, I'll maybe just do it before bed, like a quick one. But I was so tired, I ended up going to bed, so I didn't do it. So then in my head, it was kind of like, oh, well, you didn't complete your 30-day devotion. But I did. Are you kidding me? I'm so fucking proud of myself because it's also this journey of, okay, I would always let myself down. I would always say I'm going to do something and not commit or not. I tried to do a 30-day devotion before and it didn't stick. But like maybe just wasn't the right time. And I was so hard on myself. So this time it was a little bit of fear of like, oh, I've said it now to people that I'm doing this 30-day devotion. What if I don't complete it? And then like I feel like, oh, maybe I'll be a bit of a fraud or something. Like those emotions were kind of coming up, but it happened for a moment. I felt it and I let it go like in the beginning of making the decision of doing this. And then I totally forgot about it and I really truly enjoy doing the meditation. So every night before bed I was like, yes, I get to wake up at 4 a.m. and I do like a whole cacao ceremony in the morning. Like I slowly like make my cacao and I'll sit on my couch. There's mood lighting all around and I'll have a few sips and I'll put it aside and then I'll sit into my 35-minute meditation and then I'll come out and I'll journal. I'll finish my cacao and like it just was really grounding. And that didn't necessarily mean that there was so much like divine intervention or like I was connected at all times. Like sometimes I just felt good. Like, sometimes nothing came out. Sometimes I noticed that my brain was going a million miles a minute, and that's okay. Like each day is going to be different. And I didn't have that constraint of, oh, it has to be this, or I have to be connected to source in some sort of way. And I think that was the beautiful evolution of it all. Cause I had a lot of experiences in the beginning of doing the meditation within the first week or two. And then it was like just more grounding after that and more like, oh, this feels nice. So I'm going to do it. So feeling really happy. And I feel like I'm going to continue doing it. But now it's not that pressure of, oh, we got to do it every day because I'm hitting that 30-day devotion. Now it's more so, oh, I'm doing this because like
It
it
feels
feels
good.
nice for me. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. Such an important thing to highlight is that also meditation doesn't have to always look like, you're sitting there in peace and you're sitting in your whatever in your on your meditation cushion with your eyes closed. You can meditate while you're driving. Forms of meditation don't always have to be meditation music. It can be like for me this week, I found just putting on like boy band music, like love songs from boy
Oh,
band music and
yes.
just singing those on my way to work is what I felt was so meditating because that form of just singing, even though
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a singer, but nobody's hearing me. It's just me in my car. Maybe my
Yeah.
Tesla's recording me, but it's my car karaoke happening. And just singing and allowing like myself to just really feel the music and seeing like what feelings were coming out from the music and what memories were coming from the music like some
Mm.
were from high school, some just reminded me of my late husband. It's like, or my kids or something. And I feel like that's such a beautiful way also for meditation. And for
Mm-hmm.
you, like, of course, because you're sitting here and you've given yourself this 30-day devotion to do this medication where you're sitting down, your eyes are closed, and you're chanting because of the
Mm-hmm.
meditation the specific meditation you chose was a chanting style of meditation. And for you to feel like, oh my God, I am cheating myself by doing
Mm-hmm.
this in the car where my eyes are not closed. I'm still focusing on driving. Obviously, you're going to start getting in your head about it because you've set this like bar so high for yourself to be doing this meditation in a certain way. And God forbid one day you kind of tweaked it up to kind of fit your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad you like felt that, you recognized that, but then you were like, no, girl, it still counts as a meditation. And that's the most important thing. I think a lot of the times people think meditations like really need to, like, they need to have a structure to it. You can meditate while you're cooking. A couple of
Mm-hmm.
deep breaths is meditation. Like, like be taking that moment to just really regulate your nervous system.
Yeah,
Meditation's
really
just so
center
beautiful.
yourself. Like really like centering and like feeling all the emotions that are kind of going on. And I feel like just in this past 30 days, there's been so much heightened emotion and just so much like residual feelings that I've been like holding inside of my body, which aren't even mine. We've talked about this before. Like, not that I'm going to go too deep into it today, but like the generational trauma, the things that like maybe aren't fully yours. And so just like alchemizing all of that and feeling all of that, and also having so much grief for like the women that came before me. Cause I don't know if I've ever spoke, did I? I don't know. Maybe I spoke about this on the podcast. I can't remember now. We've talked so much, but just this idea that we're all connected and together. And in my meditation, I had like my ancestors behind me, and we're all doing this meditation. Like this was a vision that kind of came through, and like all my late grandparents and um, my brother and everyone was there. And just this idea that we aren't alone, like we are walking this path, maybe physically we aren't they like physically we're by ourselves, we're alone, quote unquote, but like we actually have like a whole force behind us, and there's so many more people that came from like our like older generations, and like all of that has residual effect. I think all of us, especially women, like a womb work too, like you're carrying that DNA, so it's like a really interesting concept. And then also remembering, okay, like this isn't yours to carry. You need to also like feel like, and I think that's really important, is like feeling it, not just suppressing it and moving past it, even if it isn't yours, like feeling whatever emotion was coming up. Like over the weekend, I was feeling a lot. So I literally was bawling and like moving my body and journaling so much. And I was questioning, like, I don't even really believe fully in like religion and God, but for some reason I was like blaming God, and like it was very interesting, and like asking God questions. And that's not to say I'm not deeply spiritual. I feel like we all can change and evolve in what we believe, and the more we come home to what like come home to ourselves. But like it was interesting just what ended up coming forward during that like time, and just like my writing practices. And it's just like, you know what? Like sometimes you're just going to feel a lot, and that's okay. And I feel like there's like this energy sometimes of like, if you're feeling all this or you're emotional, like you're not doing well. Like, you know what I mean?
And I think, like, even, like, sometimes you're gonna feel so much and you're gonna connect where you feel like you've gone, like, whoever's done meditation and they have gotten to this point of like a deep state of meditation where you feel like you have entered a whole different world. You're outside of like your
Mm.
body. You're having an outer body experience happening and you feel like you're in a different realm. Sometimes you're going to feel that. And some days you're going to be thinking about your to-do list. And that's you're still doing the meditation and you say thank you
Yeah.
thoughts, move forward, and you try to, like, this is what I do. Like if I'm starting to notice, like, okay, I'm starting to get really into like what needs to be done at work, what needs to be done for my kids, or like something that's worrying me. I really acknowledge that and I don't try to
Mhm.
push it away. I try to acknowledge it. I try to feel it. And then I try to say, okay, but now I'm going to focus back on my breath and I try to go back into that state again. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes
Yeah.
you sit through like a full meditation and you're like, okay, well, I don't feel like I got anything out of that. And that's the thing.
Mhm.
You can't have expectations with
Yeah.
every meditation. Like I've had such beautiful experiences with meditation, but it only happens like once in a while. Like I've had
Mhm.
experiences of where I see myself with my husband and my kids. This was before my son was even born. I had a Reiki session done, and while they were doing this Reiki session, I was pregnant with him at the time, and I had this experience of where, like, me and my so I'm sitting on on a bank with a creek going by, and my husband comes and sits down next to me. He puts his arm around me. All of a sudden, I'm holding a baby, and he has Rhea on his lap, and I can literally still see what I visualized during that Reiki session, that I almost want to get it painted, but I need to find
Mm.
somebody that can actually I can describe what I saw because I can see like the rocks, I can see the creek, like everything.
Mm.
And then I had one day I did a meditation where I had an experience of like so I'm always seeing myself like from an like I'm watching myself and my husband. So it's not like my body's there and I feel his hand. I'm watching myself as like a
Interesting.
third person,
Yeah.
and there is a trail here locally that We used to take our dogs for a walk, and I just saw myself like locked hands with him and just walking up this trail. And it was such like a beautiful experience. I can't think of other things, but for me, when I do go into meditation, I feel like I can tap into like other souls, and it's usually my husband that I'm able to tap into. I feel like it's like a visitation him and I have when I go into meditation. And
Mhm.
sometimes I do sit there and I go, okay, I really want him to come visit me. I want to be able to see us together. But now I'm learning that it doesn't happen all the time, right? So
Yeah.
I, like, because I used to let myself down as well too. I'd be like, oh,
Mhm.
well, that was like whatever, or like, oh, I fell asleep. Falling asleep during
Mhm.
meditation is beautiful.
Oh,
Oh,
so
another thing
good.
that happened. Did I share with you the sound bath that I did? And I might have shared it was, like, in the summer last year.
Oh, yeah, I think so, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I'll share it with the listeners, I guess. So I had a sound bath, and it's been a while since I've done a sound bath, and I got into this state of where, like, I felt like I could hear my husband calling my name, like, from a distance, like, he was calling my name, and, like, he's trying to get my attention, and it's kind of like how he used to call my name if I was up in my room, and he would just, like, be like, "Raju," from, like, downstairs, right? It's like I could hear him from a distance calling my name. So when we got out of this sound bath meditation, I was talking to my cousin about this, who joined me for it, and as we're, like, talking, so the lady that did the sound bath had no idea that my husband had passed away. And as we were talking about this, she was all of a sudden, like, all of her lamps started like flickering. And then, like,
Mm,
she's like, oh, there's like a presence in here right now. And like her lamps were like flickering. And it's like I was talking about him while they were flickering. And then I shared with her, like, my husband had passed away 3 years ago. And I felt like I could hear him calling my name. And the flicker of lights is like so symbolic for his
mhm,
messages to me, and the fact that he flickered those lights, it kind of was a confirmation like, "Hey, I did get into this point, into this realm where, my soul was able to connect with his soul." So even coming
mhm,
back to, like, how you saw all your ancestors and all of that, your souls are so connected. Yes,
mhm,
DNA and all of that, but your souls are connected, and your soul always chooses the community and the ancestors that they're supposed to be around, and you're sometimes able to tap into that into
mhm.
meditation. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
No,
I
you
totally
totally
understand
are.
where you're coming from.
No, yeah, it's like this idea, yeah, like I was saying, like, when I came out of that meditation, it was like, "Oh, you're not alone." Yes, I may be whatever, single or living by myself, and it's so interesting because my dad always says to me, like, "You can always come home at any time," like, like, afraid that I'm lonely or that I'm, like, because I'm by myself. And it's so interesting because I love it. I absolutely adore it so much. And he's like, "You can come home, like you can move right in and, just rent your place." And there's like this idea of like, heck no. Like I absolutely would never do that. And I don't feel alone. I don't feel like I'm by myself. And this in this beautiful meditation is like, I'm not. I'm actually not. And like anytime, and then so because my week was so busy doing so much connection and like purging and like all the things, it's like I didn't really have any time to rest. And so today I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do? I was like, maybe I'll go to a yoga class. And yoga is very relaxing to me. I do love it and enjoy it. But then I was like, it's kind of gloomy outside. And I've been sick. So I had my surgery in December. And about 10 days later, my nephew was sick. And of course, and I ended up getting sick, which has lasted. Now we're in what, March? And I've had a cough, a really, really bad cough for like 10 weeks now. And then I was like on the go for this whole last week, like connecting, and I had alcohol on the weekend. And then I felt like this reset and this not good feeling inside. And I feel, especially because I don't really drink often, that when I did have this alcohol, it was like my body and my immune system weren't fully ready. And so then I woke up the next day feeling really ill and I like didn't want to be here. It's kind of like a hungover feeling, but I didn't over drink. It's just because my body wasn't used to it. I really just wanna rest on my days off now. I booked dance, so that was another big win for this week. Is last week I did my first dance class back, and usually I'm in the beginner heels class, but this time my friend got bumped up because she did the winter soiree, and she got bumped up to the advanced beginner intro intermediate class. And I felt like this deep sadness, not for her moving up. I was super happy for her moving up, but I was like, my buddy isn't gonna be in my class anymore. And I can't do this spring term because I'm going on a trip. But I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a challenge because now I've done the beginner heels class for like 3 terms. So I've done 3 shows. Maybe it's time for me to like challenge myself, do something a little bit different. So I did my very first advanced beginner intermediate class and I had so much fun. It was a little daunting, I won't lie, because it was my first time back after months being off from surgery, but I had so much fun and I thought I was going to bomb. I was like I'm going to just go in and it's going to be really hard, but it actually wasn't as bad like the more that I got into it. So anyways, I've now decided I'm going to do the Wednesday drop-ins just to like cultivate that skill, see if maybe I can in the fall when I have more space to do the show, maybe I can also move up. Because you have to be like asked, I think, to like move up. So we'll see how it all flows. But I'm going to do that on Wednesday. And then, so today I was like, you know what? I kind of just want to read my smutty novel in candlelight in the cloudy weather and just like really be cozy because and I think there was like also this idea of like I went from resting to okay, such a busy week, and then in that rest period I was like, oh, am I isolating, am I doing this, but really my body needed it, and then I went into go 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 because I was trying to change that feeling of rest because it was apparently not good, quote unquote. And so then I overdid it and now I'm like, okay, no, I need rest again.
That's so funny. The conversation started with me feeling burnt out and sick and not feeling well, and it circled back to the whole main message, I guess, is resting and finding space for yourself to do something that really like fills your soul. So whether it's like meditation or listening to music or taking that time to take a nap, I think just end of the day, this whole messaging to this episode is rest. I
Mhm.
think that's the theme of this. And yeah, you should be resting today, and it's a perfect day to have like a nice, like, cup of like, make your coffee hot today or something, instead
Mhm.
of an iced coffee, and sit on the couch and cuddle up. That just sounds so luxurious, and I'm gonna say very honestly, I'm freaking jealous.
I was gonna say, I feel like after this, you should be taking a bubble bath, like at least 30 minutes, something to keep warm and cozy, or do something in this time. Like create 30 minutes to an hour if you can. Hour maybe pushing it, but like at least 30 minutes to do something for yourself. I feel like it's much needed, and your body, even if it is, because you said, oh, 1 hour isn't enough. It's a little bit of progress, So just maybe try and create a little bit of space for yourself today.
Yes, that's on my agenda. This is the end of this episode. We will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sacredly Selfish. Stay connected with us on Instagram and TikTok at Sacredly Selfish. And if this episode spoke to you, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs the reminder that choosing yourself is sacred, not selfish.